So much for joining me. I am going to be sharing with you today the Seashells 3D embossing folder. It is one of the items of the later release and for the celebration. And I've been having so much fun this month actually using some of the items that are in celebration. And of course, there's only one more week after this week and it's finished. So, yeah, make sure if you've got something on your list that you don't miss out on getting it for free with another purchase, even if it's just cardstock or ink refill or something like that. Really, really worth it. So let's flick over to the desktop and we will get going. So this is the More to Celebrate newly released. I'm just checking that, as I always do, checking that I am coming. Yes, I am. That's fantastic. Okay, so as I said, this is the More to Celebrate, and there's lots of fantastic items on here. Today we're going to be using the Seashells 3D embossing folder. Now this is quite a special embossing folder. Well, they're all special, aren't they? It is 3D, but also it not only coordinates with the stamp set, the Friends Are Like Seashells, but it also coordinates with this die, and I'm going to show you today exactly how you can use both of these together. Okay, let's just pop that over there. Right, so to start off with, and we're going to have a little bit of the machine on the counter today, sorry. Actually, I'll turn that around the other way so I can actually access the handle. And this is the folder, the 3D folder. Just make sure you can see that there. So 3D meaning that it is thicker, quite a lot thicker, and really punches out a really deep impression on your cardstock. Now, when you're using these 3D folders, it is really recommended that when you pop it through the machine, that you put it in on the fold first, okay, so that it just goes through better and it doesn't wreck the folder. Okay, so I've got a bit of pull party here. I'm going to pop that in to the folder. And, oops, gone up a bit high there. And so you just need the number 1, the big piece for the bottom there, and the grey plate number 4. And we'll whip that through. And this is how it comes out. Oops, throwing everything around, sorry, a bit noisy. And isn't that incredible? Just the detail in that is amazing. Okay, so the other thing you can do to really make it pop is use, well, you can use any colour, but I'm going to use the Whisper White ink pad. And I'm just going to run very lightly. And if you use this edge here, not this one here with the gap, but the edge closest to the side of the ink pad, and just tilt it on a slight angle. Now it's always best, obviously, to start light and get heavier as you wish. And you just run it over until you're happy with the amount that's on there. And that also really helps to make those images pop. I just do the edges as well. Now, what you can use that for, I've got a card here which is more of a beginner come casual card, and I've used that embossed piece in the background. Now, in the stamp set, you've got these stamps. Where did I put the stamp set? Oh, there it is, right there, right in front of me. You've got these, the silver dollar and the starfish, etc. I've just done a couple of those on very vanilla actually, and just sponged the edges a little bit with Sahara sand, and that's just cut out of some soft sea foam, and I've put it on a Sahara sand base. So straightforward, simple. The embossing folder is the real highlight for that one. Okay, so the next step would be, once you have actually embossed it, like I just, no, sorry, tell a lie, we're going to do this. So I have die cut using the big die, and I have die cut this out. So I've just got one set of plates here today, so I just thought that was easier not to have to chop and change all the time. So I pre-die cut this, and the next thing you can do is you grab the embossing folder and you can line it up. So have the Stampin' Up! Sign on the top, and if you get it around the right way, if you can line it up, you can see quite easily where to pop it on the folder. So line it up like that, and then close it. Whoops, don't get your thumb like me. And then we're going to do exactly the same. I'm going to run it through. Go. And you have that. Isn't that amazing? So all that texture and everything is popped onto those shells that you die cut. Just love, love, love how this works. So these dies actually are called, now you have to think about it because it's called Seashells die. So don't say that too fast. Seashells. But it really is fantastic. So what I did next with that, it's actually on the pool party, I also, just to show you again, I actually just did the same thing and ran the white ink pad over it to make those pop a bit more, like so, and that really makes them stand out. Then, oh, hi Paula, I love, yeah, the seashells are gorgeous, aren't they? I just think this set, I haven't used it for ages, and it was so nice to get it out and do it again, use it again. So I've just used that as the background to this one, and I've also used a strip of this paper, which is from the, make sure I get it, Designer Daydream it's called. I just had to make sure I had it right. It's a hostess paper, and it had these perfect seagulls in here with a pool party background. I couldn't have asked for better. So I've just done a strip on the back, and now I cut out a rectangle here and just coloured it. Yeah, it just really makes it pop, doesn't it? I just love how it really brings it out in white and pool party, and that sort of reminds me of the seaside of the ocean and that sort of thing. So I've just used a blending brush and blended the top and bottom for that one, and stamped some shells and cut them out, and then stamped directly on top. So that is still the absolute feature of the card, but it is more probably a casual to Avid in the sense it's got some layers to it. Okay, so the next one we're going to do, and we'll do this one from pretty much scratch. So taking this piece here, so die cutting and embossing, I'm going to grab my, where is it? Here it is. I just give my little embossing buddy just to only go where I want it to go, which is always handy. And I'm going to use a little bit of Versamate. Now, I want to just do this really, really light. The only trouble when you're doing this, of course, is you can't tell how much you've put on, but really important just to do it light. If you do it too heavy, it just looks a little bit blobby. So, honestly, just very gently over that. Then I'm going to use some gold embossing powder, and this is our fabulous tray that we have now. Captures all your mess. And I'm just going to sprinkle that on there. There we go. Tap it off. You can always go back, is the thing, if you want to add more. Now, where did I put the little Houdaki brush? Hi, Sylvia. Me, gone to New Orleans. No, you have to be Silver Elite for that. I'm not Silver Elite. Okay, so we can dry this, and actually I'll just see if I can do it this way. Just add a little bit over there. I'd love to be in New Orleans. Love to go on holiday. Well, it's not so much of a holiday really, is it? But still, feels like so long since I got on a plane and went anywhere. Oh, thank you, Paula. That's lovely. I really liked how that one turned out. Okay, a little bit of blasting. So let me just, whoops. Gosh, I'm really throwing things around today. This brush that comes with this set too is fantastic for not only brushing into your tray and cleaning it up, but for getting rid of any waifs and strays. Okay, sorry, it's a bit noisy. There we go. Not too much. Okay, and let's pop that away. The other thing I'm going to do, I want some of these seaweed as well. So, actually I might just cut it before I do that. So let's cut this out. And it looks like a horn. We'll get rid of that. And oops, I'll check I'm going in the right place. There you go. So you can do this with any of the shells. I'm just doing this one for now. But because it's got these gorgeous deep ridges and high bits, then it's quite easy to add a bit of this embossing powder. Okay, so that's the shell. You can see the gorgeous gold on that. And then I'm just going to add some green. So this is soft sea foam, just a light bit of soft sea foam to this. There we go. And we'll trim that out. And so I've used Very Vanilla. I just think with browns and Sahara sand and everything, it does go really well. And I'm going to, am I going to do that? Yes, I might cut that one down there. Don't want them that wide. Right, a little bit of snipping here. And just get rid of this one. Took my granddaughter shopping yesterday. She's very good at shopping. She knows what she likes. It was her birthday. And she picked some makeup, some 2 dresses, some bath bombs. We had lunch and she picked a big piece of cake, which of course she only had a couple of mouthfuls. But it was so much fun. Such a good day. Okay. Just add a little bit of, not much, Sahara sand to the edges. And I've also got a sentiment here. I know it hasn't been used for a while, has it? Actually, I don't need all that. I used it a lot when it first came out, and I think having it in the extra celebration thing, it's actually given it a new lease of life. I know for me it has. Okay. Right. Now, I have got a Sahara sand base. Look at that. And soft suede. Now, I've used the wood grain embossing folder on here this time, but I've still covered it with some whisper white. It was fun, Paula. It was so good. She was so good and so much fun, so funny. And she's only 4, but she's a big girl now, as she says. But she's such a delight. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's pop that on there. Now, I've used that Daydreams DSP again, except I've cut out a circle and I've just cut the edge off a little bit. So this is an Avid card because we are doing a few techniques and we are adding some layers. So this is a bit of the texture chic designer series paper, and I'm just going to rip it. So this has got a little bit of gold in it as well. It's got some pink and it's got some pool party, so I thought it was absolutely perfect for this. Always like to do a little bit of ripping. There we go. And I'm going to use my glue with that. I'll pop that on there. And then I've got a little bit of, this is DSP from He's the Man. I'm just going to cut that down a little bit. So I want that there. Example. Let's just cut it down to there. So different shapes, different textures. Hi, Linda. Welcome. Lovely to have you here. Okay. Right. Now, this is going to go on here. Oops, a bit too much glue. All right, I'll chop that down. And there's this one. There. So just lightly coloured with soft sea foam. And this needs a little bit of a trim there. It looks a bit odd. Okay. Okay. Now the sentiment. Yep. Been watching the whole time, but YouTube wouldn't let you comment. How rude! How very rude! They thought you might be going to say something, you know, that should be censored, maybe. Okay, so I'm going to add that just slightly above that one there. And then I'm going to use this shell. So I only want the dimensionals around that outside. It'd be nice at the seashells, thinking of summer. Oh my goodness. It'd be so good. That is right. A part of it is in, yes. Yeah, exactly. The embossing folder is in Celebration. So, did I take the backs off those dimensionals? I didn't. I was thinking, oh, it's not sticking very well. That's better. Okay. Actually, I think I want that a little higher now. That's better. Okay, and we have, I've already tied the bow. Cheating. This is linen thread, and I just think the colour and the texture of the linen thread just works so well with this. I'm just going to put that, now I did have a glue dot. Oh, it's gone. Here it is. It's still stuck up there. I'm going to be smart. Okay. And trim that down. Keep them a little bit longer. And of course, we have to have the inside. Now, just before we put the bling on there, before I forget, going to do the inside. So a little bit of Sahara sand, just blending that on the bottom. And then this is the dots. These dots are in the stamp set. They're good for a bit of grain, sand grain. And then we will just stamp one of the shells. And there we go. Oh, thank you, Paula. I probably have learnt so much from you in colouring and okay, so that's the middle. And to finish off, we need a bit of bling. So I'm using the iridescent rhinestones. I just thought they're like the sparkly ocean, aren't they? So we'll just pop some of them on. Oops, flying off. I need my pick-me tool. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so that is the third card, which is far more Avid than the other ones with all the different layers and texture. But this is the casual come Avid, and that's using the embossing folder with the, now I've got to keep practicing this, the Seashells die. And this is the more casual beginner card. There is a little bit of obviously use of the stamp and emboss machine, so cut and emboss machine, so not classified really as a beginner card, but still quite straightforward. So definitely worth looking at if that embossing folder is not on your list, because it is so versatile and you can just do so much with it, and love making these seaside cards. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for joining me. Love it if you could leave a comment or share the video, and yeah, take care everybody, and I will see you next week. Bye.